Hello and welcome to episode 288, of Checkpoint Chat. My name is Alessandro Barbosa. I'm joined by a tired Matthew Figuera.
I'm only laughing because prior to recording this show, you and I were busy chit-chatting, having the loveliest of times, just speaking shit. Because we actually haven't podcasted for a long time. Lenska's been
very
outside,
long time.
talking to her parents to not disturb the podcast. Okay, because obviously we live in a small place, and having her chat will create interference, like makes your life hell. I'm guessing with editing, but I think we had such a long preamble where, like, literally as she walked in the front door, we're like, "Hello, welcome to Checkpoint Chat." I'm like, like we've just started.
And I know from experience when I visited, those conversations go on forever. So our preamble has been very long.
She said she walked in, she looked at my clock, keeping the time. It was at 3 seconds.
It's like, you just started. What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I've been out there talking for a whole hour.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
I've actually just noticed now, because it's been so long, you've got your new headphones.
No, it hasn't been that long. I've had these
surely.
for months and months and months now. Legitimately.
Okay, I've only just noticed them. Because you turned your head and I saw the Steel Series logo.
Look at the branding. Although I will say, if you did listen to our last episode, it was a little bit short. And now, having posted it a lifetime ago, I don't know if anywhere in the show notes did I mention, by the way, Sandra's power cut. It might have just been a thing of we just whacked published like although we were so lucky because it was very much like we spoke about Forza, and we were like literally cool.
I think we had just finished talking about it.
Just finished talking about it. It's like cool. Anyways, and then like you just lost power. Like, oh, that could have been a lot worse. It could have been halfway through the segment or the next segment. It's like, yeah. So that's.
I think the funniest part of that was in the micro delay that it took for the power to spill out of my computer. You managed to see the like few frames of it going completely dark behind me, and still having that beamed all the way over to the UK, which I find really interesting because it's like it's clearly going off in like a very quick staging, but it was still able to show that off. It didn't just go black, you know.
I have that picture right here. For
that single frame is crazy. When I saw that, I died.
I suppose if you're listening on Spotify, you could flip to the video view quickly. It's such a split second thing where the power goes off. You haven't realized. I don't think you've like clicked.
No, it hasn't clicked at all. I mean, my monitor's still on. It's the only thing illuminating my face.
True. But it's like split seconds before your soul leaves your body in frustration.
I couldn't. Honestly, I was so mad.
Yeah, I still spoke for a while. I was like, it's like, hello.
I noticed when I was editing the audio. You actually went on for a good like half minute almost. It's like, wow, he really doesn't look at it.
Maybe you're going to come back. I don't know, whatever. You never came back. That doesn't explain our long absence, but that is why the last episode was shorter. The long absence is attributed to just life things. Like last weekend was Lenska's birthday. And you best believe it's a birthday weekend and there's nowhere for me to squeeze in a podcast. Not that I would want to.
Happy birthday, Lenska.
Oh, damn, she's so old now, man. She's catching up to me.
Just catching up to you. It's a brave thing to say when she's just like walked past you. Like you have no peripheral vision of her. If she's behind you with a knife, you'd never know.
No, she's above me. She could be dropping something on me.
Knives.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's been a while, but we are back and we have stuff to talk about. There's one game I know I'm going to talk about it. I'm like, I don't remember. I need to just think very hard about what I had lined up to say about this game because it's been that long.
Because I think actually you were going to talk about that last time, and then obviously what happened. So it has been a very long time, especially considering this came out in like end of April. Was it 30th of April or the second last week of April?
Was it? Damn.
Yeah. And we're now, 1-2 weeks away from being into July.
June. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, I mean, okay. So we're going to talk about Saros. We're going to talk about James. Well, is it 007 or James Bond? I think it's 007 First Light. That came out end of May, so that's like almost a month old. Mina the Hollower, also like end of May. Forza, middle of April.
Which, when we last spoke about it, I'd played very little.
Yeah, you just sort of tickled it essentially.
So much more.
But to be fair, a lot of the games that have come out, most of them were in May. There hasn't been tons in June because it's been showcase season essentially.
Yeah, it's quite season now actually for June, July.
Yeah, June, July is July's got a few. I mean, we've got this guy called Master Chief is coming to PlayStation. It's pretty interesting.
Sorry, there are a few things coming out.
There's a bunch of stuff in like June or July, like August, before things get real busy. And I mean, September's outrageous. If you followed any of the showcases at Summer Game Fest, September is just like a graveyard to send your game to now because it's just going up against everything. So you've got Splatoon Raiders in July as well. Metal Gear Solid Collection in August, Volume 2. Metal Gear Solid 4 is freed, finally.
That means I can actually play it. It's on that. So if video feed again, if you are looking at the video feed, I found Game Rounds does this really cool, like a lot of websites have here's all the things coming out in whatever month, whatever. But they've got this cool, so I run that little Metacritic game on the side and I need to get release dates with box art. This website has everything up to date.
That's sick.
Cool. So we want to talk about August 2026. Here's all the stuff coming out, chronological with box art, whatever. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid, August 27th. Can't wait. Actually,
I'm keen for that. I'm also keen for Big Walk. It's right there. I think that is a game we all have to play. That's the
Big Walk.
Yeah, it's the new game from the people who made Untitled Goose Game. House.
Oh yes, I remember that. That looks great.
It's sort of like their sort of take on Peak.
Yeah.
It looks sick. It looks really really cool.
Damn.
And then September is just
so
Triple A City.
It's crazy. Then October's crazy, and then look at this website, November.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 6 and Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee Remastered.
It tells you all you need to know. No one wants to be near that except the man himself, Godzilla.
So brave. So brave to be the
brave of GTA to launch there too, I won't lie.
Yeah. Damn. That's
The next graveyard month is February of 2027. It's turning into an absolute slaughterfest there. I mean, that's already
crazy.
Yeah. And I bet some things will end up there. I don't think everything we see in September is going to end up coming out September. I think there was already a game that was pushed forward, I think, because it was in the same, that like last week of September where there's like Control and I think Wolverine is in that week as well. They're just like, nah, we're good.
Yeah. No thanks.
Stranger Than Heaven, the Tupac game.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happened since you last spoke. If you missed all the showcase announcements, E3, not E3, man, where have you been?
It was a good. I thought it was a good week. I know there's been a lot of discourse since then, especially on the Microsoft side. Regarding what they as a company have done since then, and how it's kind of like reframed their showcase. But I thought, for the most part, I think Keely's show was really cool. I think it was well paced. It wasn't too long. Had some cool stuff in there. I thought the Xbox one was also pretty strong. Notwithstanding some of the games that were there that will probably never come out now. I thought Gears looked really cool. I'm fucking keen for Gears.
I must say, even I'm not like a huge Gears person, but I'm keen to play E-Day.
It looked real cool. I'm down for that. I think the only one that really disappointed me, Sony's one was kind of okay. I think 20 minutes of God of War at the end was weird. Even though the game looks cool, I just thought that was a bit much. I thought Nintendo's Direct sucked. I really did not like that show. And I get it. I don't like Fire Emblem and I don't like Xenoblade. But man, the rest of that show was just so weird and like not what I was looking for a year on from the Switch 2, which hasn't like really been doing gangbusters in my household. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's that. It's you kind of expecting, like I was expecting a new Mario at the very least, whether it's 2D or 3D or whatever. Just nothing. We got the Ocarina of Time like confirmation.
I mean, did
like
we?
that's
just
cool.
like,
We knew
here's
it was
Ocarina,
we knew it
2026.
was happening. Don't know what it looks like, but 2026 release date, which is pretty cool. So
I mean, I've heard the sentiment go around, but if no one had known that Ocarina was being announced that direct, I think there would be at least a different sentiment around that. It'd be like, oh my god, they're going to remake Ocarina of Time. That's wild. But like, because there was so much expectation on it appearing and then it was there for like 30 seconds was super strange. But that's Nintendo. I mean, they're not gonna. Man, those Kingdom Hearts fans were also just feasting that direct. I mean, just to show you the comparisons, like Umar, who's in our Discord that we chat a lot to, he was going nuts for that whole direct because like all the sorts of franchises he's super into were there, and then fucking Kingdom Hearts came out, and it's like, why is this here? This is awesome. So it's just, I guess, obviously all of this stuff is subjective, but for me, meh.
I did laugh the Sony one because Umar's a big Street Fighter fan as well. So when they show the next group of characters like da-da-da, Tifa. So in Discord he's like, oh my god, Tifa. Like, cool. Then like literally the next announcement was so it wasn't Sony show, it was Jeff Keighley's show. They showed Street Fighter. It was
Keighley's, yeah, it was Revelation.
And then then it's like the next one is like, oh my, is that Final Fantasy? Then I'm like, oh my god. Like back to back. That was really cool. I wasn't expecting that. I think just given that
it's
remake came out in 2020
time.
And then
Rebirth
came out in 2024.
Yeah.
Like we'll probably see whatever the next Final Fantasy is like end of this year maybe, and it'll only come out in like 2028. Like no, here it is. It's coming out next year. Like,
and I'm pretty sure they're going to stick to that. I mean, we said it earlier this week or the week prior. This is the reason why Rebirth never got DLC. They're just like, nope, just gonna like truck along with the third one. And I think because again, it's in like the same engine. They've built an open world-ish with Rebirth, so now they're reusing parts of that for Revelation.
For sure.
I think that's why there was this big gap between Rebirth and Remake. But even then, that was only 4 years.
No.
Like, Remake was 2020, so...
And, Remake of all its flaws, whatever, but that was still, damn, unreal.
I still think it's the better game, but, that's just me.
Yeah, it's... No, I hear it's because it is more focused, more linear. Like,
I'm hoping they kind of learned that. There were a lot of interviews with the lead designer. I can't remember his name now.
Tamaguchi.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Isn't it? It's Hamaguchi, isn't it?
Hamaguchi. I don't know. It's a lot of Gucci's going around at the moment.
I think it's that. If it's not, I'm sorry. He was basically, I know in GameSpot's interview with him, they asked specifically about like the criticisms of the open world and how they've addressed that. And I think his answer was pretty cool. He said that they haven't like toned down that stuff. They've just not made it somewhat mandatory. Because I think in Rebirth, it wasn't necessarily you had to do this stuff, but there were a lot of character upgrades and progression trees that were tied to side stuff.
Yeah.
And like you kind of had to engage with that stuff in a way, and that felt a bit like grindy. So I think now removing it is allowing you to engage with it or not. I think they just have to find a way to still make it feel meaningful, because that's where Final Fantasy 16, I think, goes the complete opposite direction, where a lot of its side stuff is complete nonsense, right up until the end, where it's like, oh, you have to do all this shit to get the like end of each character's arc, which is actually worthwhile, but you don't know that that's what you're working towards.
No.
I'm keen for Revelation. I think it looks sick. I love that Cloud jumps from the bus and tips the bus driver. Looks cool.
What? It's funny that are there Final Fantasy skins in Fortnite yet? I don't actually know.
It's a good question.
That's like
it feels like something that should have happened already. Yeah.
It's just money waiting to be printed.
I'm keen to play. Play that, and it's cool that it's coming to an end sooner rather than later than just like drawing out. Because I think we were chatting about it earlier this week as well. It's been 10 years since the reveal of Remake back in 2015 was the first E3 I ever attended at the Sony conference.
They showed it. That is like, hold on, they're actually making Final Fantasy?
That conference, I mean, I think we've spoken about it before, but that conference was unbelievable as, firstly, first time at E3, first time attending these events in person. I was there with Darren and Zoe, and I think the first thing they showed was The Last Guardian, and Zoe just like absolutely losing her mind. And I was just like, this seems... I knew Last Guardian was this thing that people had been waiting for forever, so it was cool to be part of that. They showed Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time. They showed off, obviously, Remake. It was a show, like hell of a show that.
Damn.
And then the year after, we got to see God of War.
God of War,
you and I.
Still, damn, what a show.
God of War, Resident Evil 7, Death Stranding. We saw good old Kojima on stage.
What is going on?
Yeah, I mean,
why does
very
Kojima
cool
like
shows.
these babies so much? Like, what is going
on? I do like Summer Game Fest is cool, and it's cool that we're getting a lot of these shows again. But I miss the in-person elements of so many of them. Like Microsoft's one was recorded, Nintendo's is a direct, Sony's one was just a state of play. Like the only one in person was Keeley's.
Yeah,
and I miss the gauntlet of cool Sundays or Fridays Xbox, Saturdays Sony, or whatever the cadence was. Like Ubisoft is thrown in there, EA's there. They're just like shows to watch and to attend as well. It was I'm glad I got to experience that. I'm sure you're glad you got to be part of that as well. It's a bygone era, and I don't think we'll get back to it. It was just really cool to be part of that again. 6 years since the last E3. It's crazy.
I'm glad it's back. Like, it's not quite the same form, but I'm glad that it exists in some format, because even just having this week of just announcements is fun. Yeah,
no, it's cool. And I think it's cool that Keeley has like filled that slot again during the sort of same period. So, I mean, he's going to have a thing at Gamescom, then he has a thing at the end of the year. It's, if he decides he doesn't want to do this anymore, then I don't know who will pick up the mantle, really.
No idea.
Yeah. Cool. That out the way. Let's check in chat. Talk about video games. Like we said, top of the show, we've got quite a few to chat about. Where do you want to kick off?
Should we start with James Bond?
Let's go.
Just because it's the most recent one.
We've become demonetized.
Wow. Yeah, because you having that shooter just so... So 007 First Light, made by... So for those watching, I don't know where this thing on the top right comes from, where I can see my FPS and stuff. No idea.
You're just obsessed about your FPS. You're a true gamer.
Like, I just don't know why it's on. I've never put it on, but it's there, and it's going to, let me tell you, super handy, but quite annoying to see on our recording now. But anyways, the 007 First Light, not Metro Last Light. This is a weird timeline.
It's the prequel.
If those games are related in any way. The brand new James Bond franchise started by the same studio, IO Interactive, who made Hitman. And I can tell you, when this game was first announced, I was very confused, because I was like, I don't know how... Like, I just don't know how this game will come to life. I don't know what it'll be like. Having played this game, so I'm not super far in it, but I've played a fair chunk. I'm like 6-7 hours in. Having played it now, I'm very much of the opinion that, yes, this was the right studio to make this game. Because it feels like if you've played any of the recent Hitmans, it kind of fits the James Bond universe very well, where you are, playing through the story where you can be super stealthy, super sneaky, or you can just, go out guns blazing. Contextually, context applies depending on your mission, whatever. And it just fits very well. In terms of story, it is an origin story. Like I said, brand new franchise. It's how James Bond became the 007 agent, and just figuring out, what is going on at MI6. But I think what's quite interesting is that I don't know when I expected it to be set in terms of time. I did not expect like a straight up, it's a modern day, this is James Bond in 2026, whatever, just doing his thing. Because right out the gate, you go to MI6, like, oh yes, we stop a lot of our, we get a lot of our information processed by a super AI computer. I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay, like, so it's quite a cool twist on like a very familiar character, which, like, I don't know how popular James Bond is in 2026, but for me, growing up, there was always like a history of James Bond movies or new ones to watch with old Pierce Brosnan and then later Daniel Craig. But yeah, I'm enjoying my time with this game. It's just been pretty refreshing to me, different to what I expected, and yeah, I'm enjoying my time with it.
Yeah, I think the fact that IO Interactive picked it up is probably the best studio that could have like done a modern James Bond game that isn't just a shooter. You know what I mean? Because I think if you go back to a lot of the older ones, there haven't been ones in quite some time, but you go back to a lot of the others and they pretty rote third person or first person shooters, and there's cool elements to some of those. But this feels like the James Bond simulation that hasn't really been tackled ever. It pulls inspirations from a lot of other games. I think if you've ever played Uncharted 4's Mansion Mission, this is like a game around that. It's stealthy parts. It's kind of like that. It's like stealthy parts. There's very narrative focused linear parts. And then there's just all out like third person shooting. And I think what's cool about First Light is how it moves seamlessly between all three. You know, the very first big mission you undertake, I think about like 3 or 4 hours in, is at a hotel. There's like a chess tournament happening there. This is where a lot of the gameplay footage before the game came out, this is where they set it. And that sort of opening feels very reminiscent of Hitman, where it's like, choose your path of how you get to your objective. It's way more focused than Hitman. So if you're going into First Light with this idea of it is just Hitman with a James Bond skin, it's very much not. It is way more refined and tuned to point you into certain directions and to limit your abilities and how you can influence the world. But it still feels wide open enough that it feels like you are making your choice on how to get to a certain room or get past a certain guard. It gives you the tools to kind of do that. And then after that, it moves into like a linear section that takes place beneath the mansion, where you are sneaking past guards, or you are like, you know, choosing to go and beat them all up with your hands or engage in a firefight. But that part is like pretty linear. And then it moves into like a big showcase event where you're chasing down a plane. It's very Uncharted in that way. There's like a big progression in like action, and then it slows down again the next time you undertake a new mission. And I think they nailed that sort of cadence and that pace, and it works well with the sort of the way a James Bond movie works in essence. The James Bondness of it all is really, really good, and the stories I think leans into that a lot. It feels it's a more Pierce Brosnan era James Bond, less Daniel Craig. It has the gadgets and the, you know, your watch can hack everything. It can also like make people sick, and you can blind them with the laser from your eye, or you can choose like throw a smoke bomb. It's that sort of James Bond, not Daniel Craig wearing an Omega that just tells the time sort of James Bond.
What a boring age.
I know Darren hates it. I think they're really good movies, but anyway.
They are good, but I think it's, we'll be deviating, but it's like, it's just a different style.
It's a different Bond,
yeah,
it's a different Bond. So I think from that perspective, they've really nailed it. I think, you know, I've spoken about this with you guys on Discord and whatnot. I don't think I'm as enamored with the overall game as much as other people maybe are. I think First Light has a lot of the bones for a good first attempt at this, and I feel like a sequel will really refine the parts that I think don't really work that well. For instance, the third person shooting feels odd to me. It doesn't feel good. Like, you hop in and out of cover really easily, and you pop out when you should, and you duck when you should. But I just feel like the gunplay feels a bit floaty. The control scheme is a bit weird because you're trying to do a lot of things as Bond, more so than just like cover shooting. You're like, oh, you know, you're constantly running out of ammo, so you get to throw your gun at someone's head and then sprint towards them and take them down with a melee attack. And when you nail that, especially with their sort of like animation fluidity, it looks great, but it feels wonky to actually control and pull off consistently, I find. And then the enemies around you just like choose to lob grenades at you. Like if you're in cover for like 2 seconds, they just really don't want you to be there. But then they also place enemies in weird spots around you. So I constantly found I was being shot from behind me. And I was like, I didn't even realize there were people there. So it's like these small little refinement things that if you play, say, the early Uncharted, you'll probably find the same issues. But by the time they've got to like the second and third ones, they've kind of polished that up to a degree. I've also found I'm not as far. I don't actually know how far into it I am, and I'm slightly further than you. But I think the gameplay they give you initially doesn't really evolve all that much. Like I'm getting a new gadget here or there, but I've seen the sort of skeleton of gameplay that they have on offer, and it hasn't really evolved from there. It's like sneaking feels good, the gadgets are cool, but I'm using my watch to hack 90% of things to get around 90% of things. So again, like I think they can evolve on this formula really well. I think it's a super good first attempt and way, way, way better than probably any other Bond game would have been with any other studio, but room for improvement, if that makes sense. I don't know if you share that sentiment.
I'm with you. There are I was I was laughing earlier because there are still like a couple rough edges in silly ways. Like I think it happens with any stealth game where if the AI is too good, it makes the game just not fun. If if it was true to real life, I think you'd just be seen all the time. But there was footage now where I didn't know how to get past 2 guards and I kicked a trolley, made a lot of noise, and just none of them reacted. I was like, oh, okay, like what am I supposed to do here? So there's like a few little qualms like that. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's a second game that could finesse and like function a lot of these little things, hopefully. But I think where I'm really enjoying the game is, like I said earlier, I didn't quite know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from a James Bond game made by the Hitman people. But and I haven't actually watched any footage of like outside of the reveal trailer. I've kind of steered clear of watching any footage. Everything's brand new to me. That level you spoke about, the chess tournaments, like no idea that was in the game. And I think just how that was executed, where it's like, okay, you need to like get into this building. Even before that, there's a like a mini nightclub mission where you kind of have an objective like, cool, James, you need to do this, but they don't tell you how to do that thing. It's just from you walking around the environment going like, oh, if I talk, okay, I spoke to this person there, or I overheard this person say that this thing's over here, but there might be like 3 different ways to get to the same objective. And I think that's what I'm quite enjoying, is just figuring it out and just playing through it. And it does nail that thing of, it's like playing through a James Bond movie. There's a lot of over the top nonsense where like, no human would survive this. Like, just it would never work. But it's a piece of fiction, and as a piece of James Bond fiction, it's fun to play through. To be the one actually going like, yeah, okay, how would he do this? Oh, he's going to use this gadget to do this. And even though I thought it was pretty clever, where between missions you like, I agree with you where the gadget selection is a bit like maybe a bit limited at the moment. I don't know as the game goes on, like, do I really have like, will my choices be that significant? It's like, oh, I can only choose 2 out of these like 10 gadgets. Don't know. But it is quite cool. Makes me think of watching the movies as a kid where it's like, oh, he's talking to Q. Like, what is he going to get? Oh, he's got a watch that does this. And then in that movie, he'll use that one thing like once in a very context specific thing. But I just think for them to, in this game, we're like, it's a gameplay thing. Between missions, you go back to MI6, Q's got like a new gadget for you or 2, and you go, well, what do you want to take? And it's very cool. I do laugh that they don't give you context of like, it's like, there's all these gadgets, you can only choose 2 of them. I'm like, why? Why can I only choose 2 of them?
Why can I not take them all?
There's like there's this dangerous thing happening. Like, do you not want me to have the best odds to complete my mission? Like, no, only 2 of these things. Like, okay. I don't know, like it's one of those things where, again, I've played 6-7 hours, which puts me, I'd say, like in the halfway-ish point, because I think it is about a 15-hour game from what I've seen.
I think so, yeah.
15 to 20. I don't know if it's a sort of thing where maybe the charm will wear off if I'm doing the same sort of thing for the next couple missions, or do they keep the momentum? I don't know. But as of playing these first few missions, I'm like enamored and loving just seeing this brand new James Bond. doing his thing.
I think the characterization of the the cast is also what carries a lot of this. Like, I think Bond is very charismatic, and it's cool to see him from starting days and morphing into the sort of character that he's portrayed as in the films. And this is IO Interactive's own version of the character as well, which I think they're also leaning into. It's not just it's not a by the numbers origin story, I think. He's cocky and he's confident, but you also see some of the loss he's had to endure and some of the uncertainty around his abilities that he's had to overcome, which I think is really cool. It's just, I think there's some neat characters all around the game. I'm waiting for the story to really pick up, but I've enjoyed where it's gone so far. It's just really well acted, really well animated. The hand-to-hand combat stuff, especially, like it's got that Arkham-ish sort of fighting, but the smoothness of the animations is unbelievable. Like the way you vault over things, or as you grab someone and move them over to some like a bench or a piece of glass on the wall, like your next attack will use that. It's very, very fluid and natural, and I think that sort of stuff is what elevates this beyond just being James Bond skin on X game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
It's cool. I think there's a lot of stuff here that works and some stuff that doesn't work for me, but I really hope, and by all intents it seems like they will, I hope IO gets another crack at this, because I think they've got a really good thing going here.
Yeah, I think it's reviewed well. I don't know if they've shared sales numbers, but I imagine it would have sold pretty well.
I think the first or 2 weeks it sold like 3 or over 3 million, which is not bad.
That's for, I think for them it's pretty solid. So
yeah, and there was some trickiness with I know the Amazon game CEO said that obviously since IO got the rights to the game, James Bond was sold off to Amazon, and he made some odd remarks about like them taking over the franchise or shepherding it. But I've heard since on some podcasts with Jeff Grubb that apparently IO has the license for at least another 2 games. So they'll probably have to work with Amazon, but it seems like they're not going to just not make the next one. You know what I mean? At least, again, we live in a world where stranger things happen. So I hope they just get to make another one. Because I think it could be a Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 sort of leap for them here if they get another stab at it, I think. But it's a cool game nonetheless. I think I'm having fun with it.
Last thing I'll say, the tutorial in this game, the first 2 hours, like you're playing through story stuff, and you like, long story short, you're going through a training camp with James, and just the way it like montages through him being trained and learning it, and the way it's like teaching you how to play the game as well, really, really good. Just
you can expect to see that in the next 10 years of games. They're all just going to do that.
It's such a simple thing where you're like, oh, how has no one done this before? It's like, well, I don't know, but other people are now going to do the exact same thing. It's like, it's a montage, you just learning as you go. So good.
Yeah, it's really smart because it keeps the story going. It doesn't feel like you walk here, do the combat tutorial, walk here, do the shooting tutorial. It's a very smart wrapping of that. What is still tutorialization, really. I think it gets the game off to a really good start.
Enjoyed it.
I think that's it for First Light. Good old game there.
First Light.
Where do you want to jump to next?
Should we talk very good, like 5 minutes, if that, just about Forza Horizon 6? I know we've spoken about this game at length. I just want to give my 2 cents and say, I think the last time we spoke about it, I'd played like a handful of hours, if that.
Yeah, I'd played more than you then, and I think you've now eclipsed my play time. It's
now
crazy.
I'm on like 40, 45 hours. And
damn,
like, you know me, I'll play any game. But for me, like, I like driving games, but whatever, it's a driving game. My God, Forza is just, I can't stop playing this game. It's just so much fun. It's like, I played Forza Horizon 5, and even that, it was my first Forza. I played it, I enjoyed it, and then I just kind of rolled credits and then just bounced off it. But this one's a bit different, where I feel that I got into it at the right time like at launch, where it's myself and a whole lot of my friends playing at the same time. And just on the odd evening, we just join a convoy and we just sit in Discord and we just do races. We do spec races where you all have the exact same car, or you just sit in kind of like a playlist where it cycles through different tiers of cars. It's like, oh, C class rally series now. And it's like, cool, let me see what C class rally car I've got, race against other people. And it's just been so much fun to just do that and speak shit and just drive around. And even just the game itself, it's just fun. Like I still feel like I know going into it, one thing I really wanted was a more distinct sense of progression of kind of working my way up through the different classes. I feel like after the first few hours, that just goes out the window. Like the map opens up so much, and then which is like, is it a bad thing? Not really. It just feels like the map opens up and there's just so many races to do. Do whatever you want. You just proceed and progress, and that's fun. I was kind of hoping for more, like I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe a more Gran Turismo approach where it's like, no, you kind of have to work your way up to the fast cars, but then you do a wheel spin and you win a Lamborghini and like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I was kind of hoping for the same. I really thought after playing it, in preview and then playing it for the first opening hours, I really thought they were leaning into that sort of progression, but you're right, it kind of just delves back into, this car collector, really. It's like the Pokemon for fast cars, and it's like, whatever you grab, you can drive. Obviously, the events tied to the Forza Festival are tiered, according to your car class, but you can do so much outside of that you don't need to adhere to those tiers at all. So, again, I get why they do that. I wish there was a bit more meaningful progression, but it's still better than it was in 5, I think.
Yeah, I think it does limit you a bit more as you proceed through the game, but it just wasn't, to me, but after a couple, I was like, oh, it's just, I can kind of go do what I want, and I don't know.
It's cool. It's like an all-you-can-eat for racing, I think, and I think that's
for sure.
both what, like, I love that. I can see why that turns some people off, because I guess some go, well, there's nothing really here for me because it just caters to everyone. I see it as, I get to hop into Forza Horizon 6 on any given evening and have a good time, because I can pick something on the map. I can drive whatever I want on the map.
Yeah.
Like, it is just a sort of playground for me.
No, and to be clear, we're not giving scores. I'm not like removing 3 points for not giving me.
Oh, no, not at all. I just know
just the thing. Like, I was kind of hoping maybe they would have tried it in this game. But
I feel the same. I feel like since the launch of this game, I've started seeing more conversation around, like, okay, they've kind of done this formula now a lot. Like, what can they do to evolve this? And I don't necessarily think they have to drastically. I do wish there was more meaningful progression, 100%. It was the thing that I hated about, like, 4 especially. I thought was quite egregious with that. But I still think they are meant to be games that people just pop in and out of, and especially now with the, like, seasonal stuff that they have going. And it's cool that maybe we will get more focused racing games in the future with there was that one revealed at Summer Game Fest called Clutch, I think.
Yeah.
It's from Playground game devs, and they're doing a sort of like narrative racing game, and it's like, that's cool. That's, a different sort of market that can be satiated with that. So yeah. I think the Japan setting is really neat. I love finding cars in barns and cars that are hidden around that you have to track down with photographs. It's a fun time. And also, I mean, you playing it on PC as well, that thing just looks crazy.
It's phenomenal. And to your point, it is, you can just hop on, there's so much to do, and it's just fun. Like, I found myself, I need to do this race, and I will say one of the best changes they made in this game over 5, you can fast travel to any road you've driven on, which is like a godsend.
Yes.
That was one of the more frustrating things. The last one was like, you can fast travel between your houses and like key locations, but it's like, I've got to do this race. Like, okay, I've got to drive there. And it's like, it's fun, but after like many hours, it's like, I just want to like go do the race.
Just want to go. Yeah.
But that said, even though you can fast travel everywhere, it is fun. I found myself going like, I need to go do this race. It's like 4 kilometers away. But then on my way, that's like, I haven't uncovered this road. You've got to like drive along this road. Oh, there's a mascot there. Oh, there's an XP board there. Oh, there's like a speed camera there, and there's all these little distractions that all just feel so fun to do.
Yeah.
I've always, every time I've driven anywhere, I've just like always tried to tick off as I've gone. So there's no shortage of, cool things like that. It just feels fun to drive in this game.
There's a good
I'm
variety of
enjoying it.
races too as well. I think it's just a good time. Yeah, I haven't reached credits on it, and I bounce between other games, and then one evening I'll be like, I just want to like not think about much and play some Forza, and I end up doing that, and I race around in a car that I just like I picked up a Ferrari the other day that was part of the seasonal rewards for this current season, and then I messed around with that, and it's just cool to kind of like have that sort of outlet, especially in the form of racing games, which I really, really enjoy. So
it's also
cool.
for those who've never played Forza, because it's very casual, but you can get very nitty gritty with it if turn off all the assists, whatever. But you don't have to know how to tune a car as well. I mean, I've got friends who play the game and they'll spend hours and hours like perfecting their cars and whatever. And then there's me, I'm like, I really like the Audi R8, for example, in real life. So let me just buy one in the game. I really need like an S1 racing car. I can just go browse other people who have tuned the car and like try different tunes. Just you obviously have to pay for the parts, whatever, but it's just like you click apply and then that's it. You can do it on the fly and you go, oh, cool, like this build is really good, or like I want to try something else. And it's just, you can get as much out of it as you want. If you want to sit for hours tuning, you can do that. If you don't give a shit, you can choose somebody else's tune. So
I think that's why Forza is so cool, because it can be, I mean, it doesn't go deep enough into like proper simulation stuff, but it gets close enough. But it can just be a pure arcade racer if you really want it to be. Like I'm the same as you. I don't like tuning the car stuff outside of maybe tuning a car for drag races, because you kind of have to do it for that. But I do like, I have a lot of the assists off. Like I have traction control off, I have ABS braking off, because I like the sort of challenge of like cornering and that in a game that is ostensibly still an arcade racer. So it's cool that I can have that stuff on or off, or someone can play it just like a Need for Speed game. It can be anything really, which is I think really neat.
It's a good game. Really enjoying it.
It is good.
Play so much of it.
Next location, South Africa.
Oh my gosh! Then I'll tell you, I did a post on Xbox UK, and it was all the video did was it showed kind of like a world map, and it showed like like the old Indiana Jones thing of them flying across the map like a dotted line, whatever.
Yes.
And all it was showing where the games have been. Like the first game was in America, then it went to Europe, then it went to.
And it was 3 was Australia.
3 they were like went to Australia, then 4 came to the UK, then 5 went to Mexico. And like it just showed the world tour, and then it showed like the map after like this is where Forza's been, whatever. Did that post not get like hundreds, if not thousands, of comments of people going like, "Cool, the next game must be set wherever." And one thing that came out a lot was actually a lot of people were saying Brazil, and I don't know if that's just because there are a lot of Brazilian fans on the page, but I was like, a lot of people want Brazil.
I mean, that's weird because like we just had one in Mexico, and I'm not saying Mexico and Brazil are the same thing, but like that region was kind of like represented there.
100%, yeah. But I just found it so interesting. I was like, oh, like I don't know if maybe there's just a lot of people who are being fed this video and they just happen to be in Brazil. That said, there were a couple of people like Cape Town, 100% said it doing in Cape Town. They're like, that would be cool. Some people like remastered the first game. I was like, oh. Some people saying, just put all of them into the same package so I can just travel to any. I'm like, wow, okay. It's just
Forza Horizon Pangea. Love it.
Forza Horizon World, just all of them in one. It's like, okay, like it's a lot going on here.
It's like the Smash Bros meme, but it's just locations in Forza. Like everybody's here.
Look, that would be very cool, but it's just
it would be crazy.
Somehow doubt it.
I think a Cape Town could work. I mean, Forza Horizon 2 takes place in a sort of amalgamation of like the French Riviera and Italy.
Is it Italy?
It's like Tuscany and Nice and stuff like that. So I could see like Cape Town as like a seaside, and then you've got like the fucking Karoo, which is similar to like the outback in Australia that was in Forza 3. So do it. Just do it. Then put like Gauteng somewhere there, That's like the city part of it.
We all these maps, people just assume like, oh, it's Tokyo, it's a 1-for-1 recreation of Tokyo. It's like, no, they are landmarks, and it's like not at all remotely the same.
Mount Fuji is not in Tokyo. It's just like
what? What do you mean?
that map is so far removed from reality. It's even Tokyo itself is not Tokyo. So no it's fine. Yeah. Cool. So
you're in a bounce too.
I mean, we've only got Saros and we've got Mina. So I think go for Saros first, because I don't have too much to say about Mina. And I think you've got tons to say about Saros.
I will say, if we recorded this podcast a month ago, I would have had top of mind just so much to say about Saros. Now I'm like, man, what? Like, I enjoyed the game, but man, what do I have to say about it? So I will say Saros is, if you haven't, we did do a very brief sort of like introduction to it in one of our earlier episodes. I think we'd only played like an hour or two.
I think you had just done the tutorial, really.
Yes, that was super early days of trying to figure out how does a run work, or what is the flow of this game. Having finished it now, I think I could be wrong, but I think my playtime was in the 20-hour range. I really enjoyed this game. I will say, and not at all knock against Saros, I think Returnal maybe left more of an impression on me, and it's difficult to pinpoint why. I don't know if it was because Returnal was just like very difficult to the point where I was like very stubborn, like I'm going to finish this game, I'm going to keep playing it, and Celine's story maybe just left a big impression on me. That said, Saros feels definitely way more beginner's the wrong word, like accessible is probably the right term, where it's still very difficult, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there are enough tools in this game to kind of tailor it to how difficult or how easy you want it to be. Because you get to a point where, and I don't think it's too far in the game, and I can't remember contextually why it happens, but you can flip on or off modifiers. So for example, it's like you can put on a modifier that you get more loosen out, which is the currency that drops in the game, or you can get less if you want to like up the difficulty, whatever.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I think the game loop itself was initially very confusing, because they throw these terms at you, and it's like, so it works like this. Okay, so in Saros, you do a run, you shoot enemies drop loosen outs, which is a currency you collect, and you keep your loosen outs and you use it to go back and like unlock permanent upgrades,
Okay.
And even those permanent upgrades, it's more like passive abilities, like you've got a bit more health now the next time you start a run or whatever. But that loosen out also keeps filling up a bar that counts as like levels. So if you're starting the game from scratch, 0, you like level 0, or 1, whatever it is, you're running through the game, you're killing enemies, they're dropping loosen outs, and you get like a little meter on the left that fills up like level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And that meter determines the level of weapons that you'll find in your run. Okay. So that's kind of how the difficulty's balanced, I guess, where as you leveling up, it's not the typical roguelike of like, I've leveled up, I'm now going to choose like the ability to run fast or do more damage, whatever. It's kind of like, no, the only thing that's leveling up is your loosen outs on that specific run. You're unlocking that. But what happens is, and that number determines the sort of weapons you're finding. So if you've collected enough loosen outs to be level 10, enemies or chests are going to drop like level 10 or like level 10 max weapons, like level 9, level 10. And it kind of forces you to keep changing weapons, because the higher level the weapons are, they do different things. Like they'll do, it's not like explicitly stated, oh, it's a level 10 weapon, it's doing like level 10 damage. But the higher the level of the weapon, the more sort of like passives or things it'll have built into the weapon. Okay. So if you have an assault rifle, for example, one of the passives that comes with it might be like if it shoots like 3 little bullets, it might have a 4th extra bullet to do a little bit more damage, things like that. but then in your runs as well, you will get these kind of little modifiers you can pick up, which I touched on the last time we spoke, where it's like often there'll be a very simple thing of here's the thing, it lets you collect more loosen out, so you level up faster. But sometimes you get like these corrupted mods where it'll be like, okay, you get more loosen out, but you also take 4 damage. Or you do more damage, but enemies do more damage to you. So it becomes this very interesting thing of, it's not your typical roguelike of like, I'm going to do a build around whatever. It's more about you trying to weigh up your risk versus reward of like how many modifiers you want to take on, how many sort of bad things you want to take on. Even before the run starts, do you want to have like negative things on, positive things on? So yeah, it's kind of different that way. But the gameplay itself is very fun. Like Returnal's very satisfying. Once you've got your head wrapped around the flow of combat, the dodging, and even like, so I keep mentioning the last time we spoke about it, there's a lot of like little nuances that also set Saros apart, where you have a shield in this game that you can activate at any time, and you can use it to absorb blue projectiles. But what's quite unique is that you kind of need to absorb blue projectiles to power up your like secondary strong weapon. You know, like it's that classic thing of, and I wish more studios did it, because House Marquee use that dual sense so well. It's like a half press does something, and then a full press does something.
It's like alternate fire and a full press or something like that.
So it's like if you collect enough blue orbs to power up your special weapon, you can like shoot a rocket. Well, it's got like a name, but it's kind of like shooting a rocket launcher that once off whatever. There's lots of little nuances to the game that give it that house mark flavor. Is it house marky?
I think it's house mark, but
so it's very like house mark coded, and it's an interesting and fun game to play. I just feel that Returnal left maybe more of an impression to me, and not for any reason other than, like, if I sit and think about it, maybe it's because Returnal was more challenging. I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoyed playing Saros and seeing old Roll Coley lead this game and then figure out the story. Because the premise of Saros, if you don't know, is you kind of just arrive on this planet and you are part of like an expedition that's followed a whole lot of expeditions that have come before. And like, what happens to these people? Where are they? And each run you're picking up audio logs or meeting people, and when you kind of figure out what happened on this planet, it's like fascinating story, very interesting, worth playing and figuring out. So very satisfying from that point of view as well.
I was curious to know about that, because I know there was a greater emphasis on like storytelling this time around, because Returnals I think was very vague and sparse, and I thought it was interesting because I really wanted to know what happened to Celine and why it was all like weird and fucked up on the planet she was on. But this one seems to have like actual character interactions and voice acting and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there is like the stories I've thought very, very interesting of what happens to these people, like what did they become, whatever. And it's got a lot of it covers like some pretty dark subject matter as well, but it was like fascinating to play through, so I really enjoyed it from that point of view.
Okay. Yeah, I'm keen to still give this a go.
Yeah, I think you must definitely give it some time, see if it clicks with you or not. Like, I'm so glad I played it. I enjoyed it.
I really loved Returnals, so I was always planning to play this, and maybe because of the phase of life I'm in, having these modifiers that maybe can alleviate some of the sticking points would actually help me, because as much as I really enjoyed Returnal, I did go through periods I was just banging my head against like, I cannot get past World 3 or can't get past World 4, or oh my god, I made it to the final boss and he just smoked me on the first hit and now I need to work my way back up there.
Yeah, with Saros as well, it's been made easier from the simple point of view that the moment you kind of reach the next level, you can just start there as well. You just straight up start from that level.
Yeah, so, I think, I know there was some discussion when it came out about whether or not it had sanded off too many edges, and I don't know. I haven't played it enough to know that. But I do think having that option available to me it makes it more likely that I will probably finish it rather than I don't have the time to like do this now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can understand why that might not leave as big of an impression on you as Returnal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's also something to be said of I've finished the game, but I kind of don't really feel the need to go do more runs.
Yeah.
Whereas
Okay.
Returnal, I don't know if it was a thing of, I still remember finishing it and going like, oh my God, I did a bit. I kind of still wanted to do more runs just to see like how had I gotten better at the game or there more things to unlock. Yeah, it's like, it's fun to play, do the runs, but I've kind of just felt less inclined to go back and do them. And whether that's, again, because of difficulty or because I've wrapped up the story, there's nothing really more to see. I don't know. But it's a great game though. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it and would recommend it.
It looks like it's got that Returnal speed to it. Like characters move in that game. There's no like messing around there. There's no sprint. Everything is a sprint, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's also got that, like, it's weird. The world feels so like alien and hostile, and it reminded me of Returnal. That point of view, it's just like there's like a very specific kind of DNA that the studio has to them, where it just feels like the worlds they create are very strange to like explore, but in a good way. It's like, oh, like, yeah, makes me a bit uncomfortable, but I'm enjoying like just walking my way through and just shooting everything.
So what do you think they do now? Because Returnal was obviously a big departure from, to a degree, a big departure from what they did with like arcade shooters and, you know, twin stick shooters. They basically took that formula and made it 3D with a third person action game, and now kind of did a very similar thing with Saros. Do you think there's enough juice there to do a third one of these? Or like,
I think,
what do you think they should do from here?
I almost feel like they should do a smaller project, maybe kind of like what they used to do. Purely just because, you know, keep money flowing, whatever, if they need to, but have a smaller studio spin up a game, kind of like the older stuff, the arcade shooters, whatever, and maybe
like a Resogun 2 or a Next Machina 2 or something.
100%, something, because they're also very good at those. As for the next game, like, I don't know, it'll be very interesting to see if they keep with the third person, like, action, kind of like roguelike thing, or maybe they pivot and they do just a straight up A to B cinematic shoot. Like, I don't know, it'd be very interesting to see what the studio does, but I kind of feel that it would also work in their favor to just have a smaller something, like, to work alongside.
I think that would be cool. I think I'm just curious because, like, I think Returnal hit far more than Saros has. I don't think Saros is like a bad game at all, but I think, you know, just from the way people have been talking, it almost feels like Saros has been forgotten already from this year, whereas Returnal was spoken about, I think, a lot more because it was this thing like, oh my God, Housemarque made this game.
Yeah, it was also more novel to the PS5.
Yeah, it's novel. It was mind-blowing at the time. I think Saros says, I mean, I don't know sales-wise, I think it's probably done okay. I also don't know how much it costs to make, but I don't imagine there would be much appetite for a third round of this in like 4 years' time.
No.
Unless something is like fundamentally different or something is fundamentally changed to make it stand out again. So I'm just curious what Housemarque does, because, you know, these are Returnal and Saros are their biggest games. They're now owned by Sony. You know, is the expectation to make these big blockbuster $70 games, or can they go back to a $20, $30 Super Stardust or Resogun or something like that? I'd be curious to know. I think a small game is probably a good idea, while they maybe figure that out.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a Returnal 2 or Saros 2 or new game name 3 in the same sort of style. But I think they might have to explore doing something different.
Yeah.
To stand
because
out.
I mean, Saros is not Returnal 2, but it kind of just isn't in name. It kind of is the same game.
100%. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see. I think Housemarque is really cool and unique, but I do think they need to maybe really evolve on this formula. I think Saros is the last time and only the second time they tried to get away with this sort of formula. But I don't think in a 2029 or 2030 they come out with Saros 2. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Cool. Speaking about studios that took some time making games, Yacht Club Games. You heard of these guys? They made that knight that shovels.
They give yachts out to people. You give great reviews.
If only. Oh my god, if only, that'd be great. So yeah, I mean, the developers of Shovel Knight, who went on to make so many Shovel Knight spin-offs, Yacht Club Games, they have finally brought out a new game in the same sort of vein as Shovel Knight. And if Shovel Knight was their version of a classic Castlevania or 2D side-scroller action game, Mina the Hollower is their take on Zelda. And Zelda and
I know
Dark
nothing
Souls.
about this game, just by the way.
Oh,
like
this game is like classic Zelda, like Link to the Past with Dark Souls inspired combat. So it is a very like SNES styled game. It's, top down, it's 2D. And you play as Mina. She's a hollower. She's like this mouse who's also like an engine. Yeah. Who knew?
Spoiler.
She's a mouse that is known as a hollower, that is apparently like an engineer that she helped bring like electricity and prosperity to this nation by like just bringing all these amazing inventions and whatever. And she's been like recalled back to this nation because something's going wrong. Someone's sabotaging these machines. Looks like some eco-terrorist. His name's probably Cloud. That's honestly, I was like, wow, this seems like Shinra's
we did
story,
not expect.
Yeah. And so you're brought back and you kind of need to go and visit these different like power stations or dungeons, so to speak, and figure out what's going on there. I think what's cool about this is it is hard as hell. Like, this is Souls inspired not only in structure, like there's little areas where you save your game, similar to bonfires. You like burrow into the ground and you've got a little like base there, and that's where you save, and you can spend bones, which are souls, to upgrade your attributes or upgrade your weapons. You're given the choice of 3 weapons at the start, like fast attacking daggers. I chose a Morning Star. It's almost like a whip. And you also get a hammer, so it's like very Souls-likey there. But it also it's got some like Elden Ring DNA, because you've got this massive world that they don't tell you how to get around, and you've got to use a lot of contextual like world knowledge to kind of know, okay, this goes there, or I'm being pointed to go and approach this dungeon there, but I can also do any of this stuff in any order. Even though it's got a Zelda structure, it is not an old school Zelda game where you need to have a certain tool to take on a certain dungeon. You can, I think, if I'm not mistaken, take on any dungeon in any sort of order. And they give you tools that might make other areas easier, or might give you different routes into other areas. And all of this is happening in like a 2D game that is just like so big. You are transitioning between areas, screen by screen. Like you get to the edge of a screen, you go, boop, you're in another screen.
Damn.
It's like the sort of thing that would never have worked on an SNES, like ever. But it feels like a game from that era, just with so many like modern design sensibilities. It's really cool. And I think if you play this, you will absolutely devour this game. It is really, really neat and hard, and just interesting to like get lost in. It's cool.
I've been very, very tempted, because I think it's super cheap as well. So it's particularly on Switch. I think it's like 200 Rand. Let's say
I think I grabbed it on cheap. Switch. I think it was 180 or $200. It's very cheap.
It's just one of the things where I desperately want to play it, but I'm currently, I was watching a lot of shows. It's like where I mostly play Switch is like when I climb into bed, whatever. But I've been watching shows. I've been catching up on The Boys, and I watch Invincible, and I watch Spada Noir. But now I'm busy reading, so it's like where I would play Switch, I just haven't been playing it. So it's
fair.
It's been very tempting. I'm like, if I buy, I want to buy it. But I'm like, but when I'm going to play it, like I want to finish the book I'm reading at the moment, whatever. I will play it though. It sounds like a dream.
And I do recommend like playing it when you aren't bouncing between other things too much, because it seems to be a game that requires your attention, because otherwise you're just going to lose where you are in the world, and there's not really going to be things to remind you of what was happening. It does demand that sort of level of attention, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. Can I give you a good example of why I need to wait for that span of time? So when we were talking about James Bond earlier, you might have noticed in one of that earlier club level, I got the shit beaten out of me. I was doing terribly, because I played the tutorial like a week. Like I played the first hour of the game, and I had like a week go by, and I just didn't get to playing much. I just couldn't remember how to dodge when you see the red
Yep.
thing.
I still get caught up by
So,
those. They're just weird.
If I can't remember like that simple instruction, what hope do I have of playing Mina the Hollower where it's like, you should go see that thing, like we'll go to bed, wake up a week later, it's like, where's I supposed to go again? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And then you're just wasting time. Then it's like, oh, should I just restart this? Should I do this? No, I get you. It is a game that it's similar to like Elden Ring. Like I made the mistake of playing Elden Ring and leaving it for a few months and coming back, and I was like, what the fuck is going on in this game? It took me hours to eventually feel comfortable with it again. And like, I don't think that's the intended experience, and I don't think that's what's intended here. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. So you are a mouse. You're a hollower. I think I've said this before. The game is 2D, but it's got verticality to it. So you can jump, and it expects you to know, like you can see a screen in 2D, but I can jump to certain areas, like platform to certain areas to get above things or jump over hedges. But you can also burrow, which they let you discover very naturally. But I also don't think you can really progress that far in the opening 2 hours without eventually figuring out you can do this. So you can burrow into the ground and move a like very small distance underground and then pop up again. And that lets you find like secret areas or get under certain obstacles and whatever. But you can also do it in combat because you don't have a dodge. So you can pop down into the ground, move underground, pop up and attack, or use it to dodge other attacks. But it's got this like really clever animation to it where there's maybe, I don't know how many frames, but there's enough frames between you pressing the hop to get into the ground and you actually being in the ground where you can still take damage. So it's not a roll and miss damage immediately sort of thing. It is this, there are certain iframes in there, but you need to understand when this animation starts and ends before like getting hit here. And now I was like, okay, cool. I have to really think about movement in this game, timing in this game. A lot of the bosses play around with attack patterns where it's like, oh, I never got underground quick enough. This attack is super going to hit me now. Yeah, it's cool.
Amazing,
and it feels cool when you like burrow underground and pop up behind an enemy and whack them and then go down again. And it's good. I think you'll really enjoy this game.
I'm like certain I'll love this game.
Yeah. It's your shit. Like you played Shovel Knight, right?
Yeah, no, I love Shovel Knight. It's like one of the first. I think it's like one of the first Switch games I played.
Same, yeah. They had the treasure trove on Switch, and that's where I played it the first time as well. It's got that feel. There's really tightness to the controls, and they understand the genre that they are paying homage to very, very well. Like that was a Castlevania of sorts. This is Zelda and Dark Souls, and they nail on both fronts. Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I'm very
good
very,
music
very
too
keen.
as well. Yeah, it's good.
Damn, that sounds great.
Yeah. It seems like that game's sold super well, so yacht clubs will stick around. It seems.
That studio has done financially so well. I wouldn't expect them to go anywhere.
Well, they were saying before Mina came out, they were like, this game has taken so long to develop. You know, $500,000 would be great for them. I think they said like $1 million would keep the studio. You know, would allow them to work on another game or something, and then I think they hit like $1 million within a week. So they're like, cool, sick. We'll stick around, you know. So that's nice. It's always nice to see.
Continue selling, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely, because it's only on PC and Switch currently, I think. So, it could come to other platforms as well. Yeah.
Damn. Mina the Hollower. I need to play that.
Yeah, it's a good time. Really good time.
Nice.
I think that's it from our side. Nothing else you're touching on currently.
No, I haven't. Like I'd say I haven't played much. I've been playing stuff, but it's the stuff we've spoken about. Saros, 007, Forza. Like I played a lot of Forza. I played I don't think I spoke about. I played a bunch of Fortnite for a couple of weeks. Good fun still. Need to dust off the Switch to play old Mina the Hollower.
I'm keen to play that Doom DLC that's coming out at the beginning of July.
Can I tell you, I haven't played Doom the Dark Ages.
Oh, have you not? It's real good.
Not played it. So that DLC looks really good.
Game is good. I know, like, I feel like it hasn't stayed part of the conversation since it came out last year, but I thought it was a good one of those. I liked it more than Eternal. A lot of people seem to think Eternal is the peak of that series. I don't share that opinion. I thought Dark Ages was really fun. And that DLC looks sick. Like you get a whole spear, and Doom guy has a face, which is weird, and it looks neat. Yeah, it looks neat. That game's got a cool combat loop that I think you'll vibe with.
I played 2016 and Eternal. I love both of them. Like I agree with you. I think Eternal, like I enjoyed it, but maybe not as much as the one before.
Got a bit too complicated for me. But
Dark Ages. It's one of those games where like during a lull, like I haven't played the Dark Ages. Let me play it.
And it's not super long. It's part of Game Pass. Like you can just grab that. It's pretty neat. I think we actually have it on Steam, so And then there's that Splatoon Raiders thing coming out in July that I kind of want to check out. It's sort of like Night Rain, but Splatoon. Okay.
Where was the From Software in any of this?
Yeah, it's a good question. Hey, that direct, really bad.
Yeah.
They're like, here's Duskbloods, here's a summer test, and that's it. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
What's going on? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Game is apparently still coming this year. We haven't seen actual gameplay of that thing. It's crazy.
I have better hopes for that game purely because I really enjoyed Night Rain. I played Night Rain way more than I thought I would. So, and I think Night Rain would serve as like a very good lesson for them of what to do and not do in Duskblood.
It's also being led by Miyazaki, like directly, which not even Night Rain was. So. If this is Miyazaki's next big thing, like, cool, I'm there for it any day. It's just weird that we haven't seen it in action. We don't really know what it is still. Like, there's all this debate on whether you can play it alone or you can't. Like, I just kind of want to see what it is and play it, really.
We'll see.
But it seems like the end of the year will be filled with this stuff. Because I mean, if we were talking about September, October already, and there's still games like Ocarina and Duskbloods which have no date, like that stuff's got to slot in somewhere.
The only game that can stand up to Grand Theft Auto is the next Miyazaki.
Could you imagine Ocarina of Time launches against GTA? That'd be crazy.
Do you know what? Nintendo lives in its own timeline.
Yeah.
The people who are playing Grand Theft Auto aren't the same people who are playing Ocarina of Time. Like, and I don't say that in a mean way. Like, I think, like, you and I will probably play both. Okay, but I think there's a very, like, I'm going to throw up a number. Like, maybe there's 10% of people who will play both. But the people who are going to play GTA 6 are going to play GTA 6, and the people who are going to play Zelda are going to play Zelda. They're not going to play both necessarily. So,
They're also on entirely two different platforms.
No, exactly.
GTA is not going to be on Switch. So, you're probably right. I could see it could launch at that time and would probably be completely unaffected by GTA 5.
It would be the most Nintendo move ever, and I cannot wait.
I'd be here for it,
Nintendo,
that'd be quite fun.
Don't give a shit.
Just make it even better. Just put it on the same day.
The same day.
Just like the exact same day.
GTA coming out November 19th. Ocarina of Time remake. November 19th.
They're doing the Uno reverse of Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like Breath of the Wild on the same day? Never. That poor studio.
I actually hope they do that. I would love for them to launch it in the same month as GTA because it would be absolutely
What was the second time that happened? It was Forbidden West and Elden Ring, or
it happened. No, it happened to Horizon.
So Horizon Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild were a week apart. That I know for a fact was true. But then Forbidden West, I think it was Elden Ring.
It was Tears of the Kingdom. It was like the same thing.
No, it couldn't have been.
I think it was the exact same thing. It's like Horizon Zero Dawn came out, Breath of the Wild came out. People were like, okay, well, Breath of the Wild's a better game. And it was the same thing where Tears of the Kingdom came out, Forbidden West came out. It's like same sort of period.
I don't think it was those two games.
Do you think it was Elden Ring? Is that what you're saying? Maybe it was Elden Ring.
It was Elden Ring. Elden Ring and Forbidden West came out a week apart from one
another. But then when
did
Tears of the Kingdom come out?
I think that was 2023. It was a year later.
Was it a year later?
Tears of the Kingdom.
You're right. It was
a year later, A year later. May 2023. So Forbidden West and Elden Ring were February 2022.
Elden Ring came out in 2022.
Yeah, that's crazy. 4 years ago.
That is crazy talk. Damn, my soul just left my body. I can't believe that.
Well, I mean, Tears of the Kingdom is more than 3 years old.
What? No, that's true. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's nuts, eh? Jeez.
Crazy.
Wait till I tell you how long you've been married. Holy shit.
Damn. 7 years now. Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy times. Have you heard how long it's been since the 3D Mario? Holy shit.
That's why I'm floored that there was no Mario anything.
It'll be 9 years in September since the last 3D Mario.
Yes.
That's outrageous. Like,
that is outrageous.
When Odyssey came out, did you ever believe it would be almost a decade till we get another one? That's crazy.
You have to wonder, is it a thing of like, they obviously haven't gone like, we're not making a Mario game for 5 years, 9 years. I think
definitely not.
They're obviously trying stuff. They're working on Mario, but it maybe just whatever they're working on just hasn't stuck. Like, you wonder, and Nintendo, like, I don't know if anyone actually knows what goes on behind closed doors other than Nintendo employees, because they seem super secretive. But I don't think you have like Jason Schreier going like, oh yeah, like they've rebooted Mario for the 4th time now. You know, like I don't know what's going on with that Mario franchise.
I would love to know, because I think it rode off the success of some Wii U ports. You know, you had your Super Mario Bros. Wii U thing, and then you had what was the one that Bowser's Fury was tied to? Was it Super Mario 3D World? Yeah. You know, those things came out, and those were 3D Marios, but they weren't Odyssey. You know, they weren't your Galaxy or your Odyssey. And you know, I think Bowser's Fury was a good idea of, oh, maybe this is going to be the next thing. But even that was like 6 years ago at this point. You know, I don't know. I mean, that team made Donkey Kong Bonanza, so maybe they were just like, we don't want to do Mario now.
I don't know.
It just floors me. I was convinced we were going to get an Odyssey 2 at the very least. Instead, we got a Breath of the Wild sequel 3 years ago. You know,
which is
that's nuts. Yeah,
it's crazy.
We'll see what happens. I think by the end of the year we'll know if we're getting another. I don't think we'll get one this year, but I think we'll know about one coming next year. Put it that way.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Cool. That's been episode 288 Checkpoint Chat. As always, thank you so much for listening. We know there's multiple gaps between all these episodes, but if you're here, you're listening, we thank you. We hope you are keeping well and playing good video games. Let us know what you're playing in the comments, or email us, or all of that good stuff. That reminds me, you told me there was a comment on a very old episode. I forgot now who it was. Was it Miles?
It's probably Malesh.
Yeah. Congratulating me on the birth of my son. Thank you very much. I'm sorry we only saw the comment. Well, Matty brought it to my attention very recently. That is
on me. I was going through our channel. It's like, let me I'll have a look quickly now. I was going through like YouTube Studio, and it's like comments. I was like, oh, we haven't had comments for a while. I was like, oh no, here's a comment. I just straight up missed. Community comments.
Either way, thank you so much for the well wishes. Sorry you didn't get to see it earlier, but yeah, I hope you're keeping well, Milesh, and I hope everyone else who listens is keeping well. We'll be back relatively soon, hopefully with some good July goodness. Until then, stay safe. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matty.
Thank you, as always.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.